But road marking currently work with a material which actually has Swarovski pearls, and these Swarovski pearls actually retro-reflect your headlight. That pearl reflects back, and that's how you see the road marking. If you know a bit about physics, when it's raining and it's becoming wet, a layer of water covers that road marking, then retro-reflectivity actually doesn't work, and you have no visibility anymore. And these are the conditions that you need it actually the most.
Welcome to the Startup Passport by Frontwalker. Today we are joined by Maarten, Tobias. Thank you very much for joining. You are the co-founder and CEO of Luxene.
Yeah, that's correct.
And well, you also worked for other companies before, or for big corporates like Philips, for example. But then if people think of entrepreneurs, potentially you're that kind of person that comes up because you're a serial entrepreneur yourself, right?
Yeah, this is my third company. This is my third startup. Yeah, I started my first company in 2010 as a spin-off from Philips, which was a company called Dimenco. We actually developed technology that you could see 3D without glasses. And then in 2021, I also started a company in more defense-related area. And last year, we started with Luxene.
And how did the previous companies, how did that end? Did those companies survive, or did you win, or were there learnings?
Always learnings, but I also got a nice win out of it. So we exited Dimenco actually twice, once in 2015 to a Chinese listed company, and then we bought it back in 2018. That's a totally different story. And in 2023, we exited to a Silicon Valley based company, and I was part of the board for a year there. So.
And now with Luxene, I think we can imagine a scenario that we all had before. So it's getting late at night, it's getting dark, and then you drive home. And this is where potentially in the future people could have touching points with Luxene.
Exactly. So that's exactly what we have in mind, and what we're currently piloting is you're driving by night, you have another clear view on the road. And that's where I actually need guidance, and guidance is not always there, especially in adverse conditions like rain or snow, where you don't see the road marking, or the road marking isn't really working. That's where we actually have or bring a solution.
So can you describe a little bit? So how are the road markings right now? Let's just imagine that they're already there, because of course your product could also be helpful for areas where there are just no road marks yet. But let's imagine, how's it done right now, and what are you guys doing differently?
Yeah, that's a good question. And funny enough, 1.5 years ago, I had no idea about this market, so I'm just learning. But road markings are actually everywhere. That's also the interesting part. They're everywhere in the world, and everybody in the world knows what a road marking is. So that's, in that sense, a funny statement. But road marking currently work with, it's a material which actually has glass pearls, which are actually Swarovski pearls. So could be interesting. And these Swarovski pearls actually retro-reflect your headlights. So when you're normally driving, your headlights actually reflecting in that pearl, and that pearl reflects back, and that's how you see the road marking. If you know a bit about physics, when it's raining and it's becoming wet, a layer of water covers that road marking, and then retro-reflectivity actually doesn't work, and you have no visibility anymore. And these are the conditions that you need it actually the most.
And how did you guys come up with that idea? Is that actually something where maybe one day you were actually like driving home and you felt like, this is something that's, I see an opportunity there, or was it rather that well, you saw an opportunity from the technology behind it, and then I thought, okay, we can make this out of that technology?
Yeah, exactly the latter. So regretfully, I cannot tell the story about a nice moment that I'm driving and found a solution.
Everything came together.
Everything came together. No, we actually, I was approached by another corporate 1.5 years ago to spin off another company again. We ran into a certain technology, which is very similar to what we're currently doing. And we thought, hey, if we adapt that technology and provide it into road markings or roads in that sense, thought we can really solve a problem. And that's also what we currently see.
And your current status is patent pending, right? If I'm not
patent
mistaken.
Pending, yeah. We have about 3 patents pending.
And you also won a startup award in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Before, so you've seen some initial success. But how far would you say is the company right now in terms of growth, in terms of actually getting out on the streets, if that's a thing to say?
Yeah, that's a good statement. Well, we have 2 pilots running. One in Helmond at the automotive campus, and one in the municipality of Maasdriel, a very small municipality in Brabant. And we're targeting a large-scale pilot probably in September and commercial release in November.
And well, from your background, also as a serial entrepreneur with different companies you worked on, what would you say was most helpful, or what's your most helpful background or experience that you had previously that you could now use for this company?
I think to set up a company by itself is always quite a learning. So I think that helped me a lot. But also a bit by age. I'm 47, so a bit more old than most people that maybe start a company. My network is quite good, so I was able to make steps very quickly. And to surround yourself with very good people. I think that's the most important.
And what is it that you guys are looking for right now? You have the 2 pilots running, but is there anything else that could help you right now with growing the company?
Yeah, more pilots, but we're really scaling up production, finalizing product development, and make it visible with municipalities, provincial authorities. That's for us the most important at this moment.
And well, we have some we call them quick fire questions.
Okay.
So I would like to ask you for a quick answer here. First question is for you as a Dutch person, highway or bike path?
Highway.
Highway. Scaling in the Netherlands or scaling internationally?
Internationally.
Municipality or private sector?
Municipality.
Also in terms of the company that you're building now, so are you essentially trying to, who's your customer in the end? Are these municipalities or are these governments? Because who's in charge of the roads?
Yeah, the road authorities, which is municipalities or central government. Although what we see is our construction companies that are currently already constructing the road will be our customers, and they will sell it to the municipalities and the provinces.
My biggest learning as a founder in general so far was
You cannot do everything by yourself, and you need a lot of good people surrounding you.
and well, it's going to be an interesting question. In 5 years, how many kilometers of roads have you guys been sorting out with your technology?
That was an interesting question. If I knew that answer, that would be very helpful. No, but I think our ambition is multiple thousands.
Multiple thousands, and then essentially starting in the Netherlands, growing it here, and then, as you said, growing internationally.
Yes and no. So, as you referred to the Startup Award, which we won in March at the Intertraffic event, we got actually a lot of requests from outside the Netherlands. So this morning I had a call with someone in Taiwan who wants to represent their product. Last week we were in Switzerland. So we see a lot of interest also beyond the Netherlands. So it's not yet defined how we will go to market in that sense.
And for you, it is. Does that also add another challenge? Because then, when you tap into markets, well, you then have to go to Taiwan. So it's because you're not dealing with private companies, but then with authorities potentially. Then in that sense,
No, you also deal with private companies who actually sell it to the authority. So we will not deal
okay.
at this moment, what I can imagine with the municipality of Taipei, for example, that I do not foresee. We will deal with companies that are active there.
Which gives you an easier chance to go internationally as well. With
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. We'll be very interested to follow that. So thank you very much for all of the insights, and good luck with the company, Maarten.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.